Hey guys, welcome to Crafts Go Bloom. My name is Krista, and today we are going to be doing a market vlog. This will be my final market of this year. It's going to be in early December. Not sure when this will be posted, but like I've got my Christmas tree up in the corner. Right now I'm about to go through inventory. So everything that is sitting out on my couch is all inventory. Some items I'm going to add. Our last few markets haven't gone that well, so we haven't sold that much stuff. So I didn't really need to restock anything. I just made a couple new items that some people had asked for, like customers at previous events had asked for, but I didn't have what they were looking for. So I'm hoping that that goes over well. I have a few Christmas items. A lot of what I have over here is stuff that I was like testing my own patterns, and I just have like extras that I don't need to keep. So I move those into craft show inventory. I did another video about a challenge where I was seeing what different patterns I could crochet with one skein of yarn. So those items will go into inventory. And then somebody put out a new pattern that I just really wanted to try. I don't know if it's going to go over well with my customers or not, but they were cute, and so I want to try them. They are called block buds. I really recommend them if you think that they would do well for you, or if you just want to make them. Like, they're super cute. I really like how they come together. And they take me maybe 20 minutes, even with like the extra step. So I need to do some inventory, count how many things I've actually made, put them in. I'm also doing a slight variation. I have made a ton of the Katy Bean Creative Octo, and I get people who ask me for items for kids that are too young to have anything with safety eyes in them. So as a test, I made a bunch of the Katy Bean Creative Octo that just doesn't have any eyes on it, because I think that these would be great for little hands to squish their little fingers into, and there's just nothing for them to worry about. At my last market, I had a couple of customers looking for things for babies. I also always like let them know like this isn't something that they should probably have unsupervised, things like that. Like I always kind of verbally let them know some safety things that as a crocheter I know, but they might not know. But we had this one little boy who was trying to pick out something for his little sister, and he was probably like 3 or 4. He wasn't very old. And then they had baby sister in the stroller. And so I'd love to have a few items that are like safe that I can point at and say, here's a couple options for older siblings or baby shower gift. This is a favorite pattern of mine, so I just immediately went to this, and we'll test those out. And at the end of the video, I'll go over more in depth like what sold and how we did and things like that, so we can kind of gauge if these do well or not. This will be our 4th event at this venue this year, and they've kind of been getting worse and worse at this venue. So I'm hoping that people are in a Christmas shopping mood and that we do better at this one. That's what the other vendors keep telling us, is that we would probably do better at the Christmas time event than the one in like, we did one in April and one in August at the same place. So I'm hoping that I have a long update for you at the end of this video, but we're filming this in real time, so I don't know what's going to happen yet. It's Thursday today, and my event is Friday like afternoon, early evening, and then all day Saturday. So I will vlog as much as I can, and we will just experience this one together. And so hopefully there's a long update at the end of the video. If it's short, you will know why, and I will let you know why. So let's get to work doing some inventory counting. So some of the items I have here are patterns that I thought I might want to write and then decided against them for whatever reason. And so I'm just selling like the extra little things. There were different things about this that I didn't like and I would like to redo. This one is actually a pattern. I do have a Siamese cat pattern, but I think it's just out as a YouTube video right now. I don't think it's on my website yet, but it was just like a fun thing I made. And so I have a little basket of these smaller size things. I've got the things I made out of that one skein of Bernat blanket speckle in that blue. So there's some random stuff. This was from when I put out the free pattern on Instagram for this little bow, and then this is just my regular cat pattern, and then I just styled it that way. Here's my pile of octos. I made 5 in kind of girly colors and 5 in kind of boyish colors just to cut myself off. I could make like 30 of this and I wouldn't bat an eye. I love this pattern. And then this is the Friendly Red Fox Sea Turtle pattern. And technically these are a little bit different. I did sort of an adaptation because I had a bunch of these pre-made blue and orange things that were for a different project, and it wasn't selling well with my customers, so I just turned it into the turtle shell. So this isn't exactly what her pattern looks like. I was just trying to use up parts that I had and get my whip pile much smaller. These are the block buds back here. Let's move these out of the sun. So she has 7, I want to say, patterns in her set. I made the candy cane, snowman, Santa, and a reindeer, and just packaged them up to look cute for like little Christmas gifts as an option. I've never made these for markets. I've never made them, period. So I don't know how well they'll do. And so I'm only going to make a couple here, and we'll see how they go. And then I decided to make a bunch in these different colors. I went through and made a whole rainbow, and then I made some that were just like random variegated yarns. And they have a rattle in them. I'm not sure how well you can hear that. And then there's like a plastic disc on the top and the bottom, so they stack up really well. And all I did was just follow her pattern, but I didn't do any of the color changes or things like that. And I plan to just have a basket full of these where that you could buy individually, and I'll probably say like they cost $8 each, or I'm not sure, like a certain number of them for like a slightly discounted price potentially, or I might just leave them and I'll probably just do $8 each for this market and just let it be less prep work for me. I'm hoping that those are just like an easy, keep the baby happy sort of thing while you're walking around the market. And then some other things I'm adding to inventory are this snowman, which is a variation of my sitting snowman pattern. And as of filming this, it is just about to go to the testers today over on Patreon. But I was trying to make it look like Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer from, I want to say it's the 1960s. So that looks like the guy at the beginning. And here's my Rudolph and Clarice adaptations. And this is just my sitting reindeer pattern that's over on Patreon right now. I turned Santa into the Grinch, and then this is just the regular Santa pattern. I was just trying it out in some different skin tones. So I love all of these. I just can't keep every single adaptation of every single pattern, or I'm gonna have a house full of plushies. So even though I think some of these are really cute, some of them just had to go. And then stuff inside the bin is stuff I'm not done using yet. I need to film a video with it. I still need to type up a pattern, etc. But they're all that's just my elf pattern in different colors. And if you're familiar with the movie, that's Yukon Cornelius. That's just the Santa pattern in different colors. And from the Island of Misfit Toys is the white elephant with the spots. That's all my inventory. I will get this all on the computer, and I will give you a shot of how many bins and things I am taking with me to this market. Here are 3 more of my inventory totes. I just have them stored in the closet that's behind me, and then like my tripods go on top of them when I'm not using them. But you can see like some snakes through here, some of my shelves. This is a bunch of different plushies that I've just tossed in different bags. That way the plushies are basically just sitting on top of each other, but it's like one is octos and one is dinos or something like that. And then we have my little sitting chicken down here and my pineapple sticking out. Got our scrunchies, things like that. And then we have a couple more. I'm not sure how the sound quality is going to be because it's a windy day, but we've got like the cake stand thing here, and this stand gets used for chickens. And we've got our dolly. We always use that to truck like multiple things in and out. The wooden crates from Joann that everyone is always using. Got my tables, our chairs, and all of our totes full of plushies. So time to go. Hey guys, so it's the week after the market and it went okay. That's the gist of it. It did not go as well as I was really hoping for it to, but it definitely didn't go as poorly as some of our other markets this year. So let's get into a little bit of the breakdown. It was a 2-day market, a little bit on Friday night, most of the day on Saturday. And for Friday night and I'd say the first half, 2/3 of Saturday, we did really well. And then it really dropped off on that second half of Saturday, or maybe like that last third of the time. Now, this was an event that customers had to pay to get into, and so I think that had a huge impact on how that went, because I think people wanted to pay to get in and be able to be there all day long if they so chose. I don't think people were really wanting to pay to get in the last hour. Going forward next year, I don't think we're going to be doing any events where our customers have to pay to get in, because I just don't think that it works well for us. We need customers who are families with a lot of kids, and they rarely want to pay for all 5 kids to get in and then go pay for them to buy something. Or I see a lot of people like coming without their kids to these events. We paid $150 to get into this event, and we made around $660. So our profit for the whole weekend was somewhere between $400 and $500. By the time you take out fees and everything, it was really just like 400 something. And that's okay for us for a 4-hour market, but definitely not for a market that lasted 9 hours. Yeah, it lasted 9 hours total. So really not great when we look at it. One super fun thing that happened was that Santa and Mrs. Claus were there walking around. They were like walking around shopping after their photography duties were finished. And they were super sweet, and I took this photo with them. Santa even wanted to make sure that we got my business logo in there, which I thought was really awesome. They were super cool about going around and taking pictures with the vendors, because we were all just like, I can't wait to show this off. This is really fun. Another super fun thing that happened for me was this was my first time being recognized out in public by another vendor, like by a viewer, I should say. So super excited about that. I didn't think to get a picture with her. I totally should have. She's another crochet vendor. I will link her stuff down below so that you can go find her. Her name is Lexi. Now, my daughter comes to these events with me, and my daughter and I look very, very alike. Very, very alike. And so when this other vendor recognized me, I actually just assumed that she thought I was my daughter. And then I was like, oh, wait, no. She's actually looking at me. Oh, this is really cool. This is really fun. So I met Santa, and then I got recognized. So I was like, well, now I'm famous, obviously. And I did my usual thing. I think I actually forgot to take business cards with us this time, but my daughter and I went around to other vendors to chat and just say hi. And we like to be able to look at the other vendors in general, but I love to go over and chat with the other crochet vendors as well. So I am taking a look at my transactions on my phone to let you know what the best sellers were. Friday night, our best sellers were my sitting chicken. We sold 5 of those. And then we sold 1 of my Mama Moran and 1 of the medium sea turtle pattern that I make. And that's the same sea turtle that I make no matter what. I just call it the medium one because it turns out in a medium size when I make it in Bernat blanket. So that's Friday night. And then Saturday, we sold 7 of my sitting chickens, 3 cats, and 1 medium sea turtle. That was like our best sellers by profit. But by just number of items that sold, I sold 2 of my sitting animals as well. And that didn't surprise me very much. The sitting chicken is always a good seller for us, so it felt like some of our regular customers were around if what we were selling was chickens and sea turtles. That's very, very typical for us. We also sold 5 scrunchies, which I was quite excited about because they haven't been very good sellers for us this year. They were last year, but not so much this year. Other things I was excited to sell were some medium tree frogs, and that's the medium size of my 4-pack tree frog pattern. We did sell 1 of the octos that didn't have eyes in it. I'm happy with that. I wouldn't say that that was necessarily not a success because of the low foot traffic and just the low sales overall at this event. So our first, or I haven't decided if it will be our first event or second event next year, but we are already signed up for a specific event that will be where I really test those out, because last year that was an event where we made over $2,000 in one day. And so that'll be my real test on whether or not the octos without eyes are worth continuing to make or not. I finally sold one of the snakes that I made using the pattern from Kayla's Crafts 97. I made like 4 of them in Bernat Blanket and they turn out pretty big, but we hadn't had very many good markets to test out whether or not my customers like them. And we finally sold one of those, so I was excited about that. And then I also sold my large ice cream cone. The pattern is by Katy Bean Creative. She's here on YouTube. I don't keep a ton of them in stock because it's a larger item, but I always replenish it when I sell out of it, because I seem to sell 2 or 3 every single year. Even in the dead of winter, I was still selling an ice cream cone, so it's not just like a summer item for me. As I was walking around talking with the other vendors, a lot of them were also saying the same thing, that the second half of this year just wasn't that great for them. That everybody had great sales for basically like through the first half of the summer, and by the time we all hit the second half of the summer, fall and winter, our sales just keep going down and down. So I know there's a lot that plays into that. It could have been our choice of venues. Some of the markets we went to, we did poorly because there was no traffic, not because people weren't buying. So that's on us. So that being said, it was a great event. I love talking to the other vendors around me. That part was really, I had a lot of fun being there. But I definitely wish the sales could have been better to end the year. So I'm ready for a break for markets. I'm definitely ready for a Christmas break and even like a winter and early spring break, because I have a good 5-6 months until market season starts again for me. So you won't be seeing any market vlogs from me for a little while just because of that. There's going to be a good time gap before I have another market coming up. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about markets in general, please leave them in the comments, and I can definitely make some videos over this winter where I'm just helping you out with market tips. I hope you have a good Christmas and a good New Year's, and I will see you guys next year. Bye, guys.